Super Bowl 49, we got the Pats against the Seahawks. Okay, Daniel, there's a lot of big headlines going around. First of them being Deflate-Gate. Let's talk about that. Do you think they should be penalized, and who's at fault?
Well, I really don't think it's that big of a deal. You know, it was a blowout win. The Patriots won by a lot. I don't think deflating the balls really made an impact on the game. But since it is the Patriots and they had the whole Spygate thing a few years ago, I think they do need to get punished, and I think the league really needs to send them a message and say, hey, you can't be fooling around with us like that.
Yeah, I agree on all those points. And I also think that the biggest problem for me is that they didn't take ownership of it.
Right.
Brady and Belichick, Brady's at fault no matter what. Like, these balls are fixed for him. You can't pin it on just the equipment manager. And I don't know if Belichick had anything to do with it, but it's either Brady and Belichick or just Brady.
Yeah.
So let's talk about another headline. We got the Eagles trying to shop Nick Foles, which kind of means that these rumors going around that Kelly wants Mariota, they're probably true. If the Eagles can get Mariota, do you think that makes them contenders?
I actually don't, because even if they do get Mariota this year, they're going to have a rookie quarterback next year, and you can't exactly say that the Eagles have a rookie quarterback, they're going to win the Super Bowl.
But does that offense that he led in college with Mariota in it, do you think that doesn't directly translate to the NFL?
Well, I think the Eagles are going to be contenders every year no matter who's at their quarterback. You know, they're a running team. They got Chip Kelly, who's a great coach in this league. I think no matter who's at quarterback, they're going to be contending for the Super Bowl every year. However, time might be running out on some of these big contracts that they have, and I don't think the way to build a Super Bowl team is by trading up in the draft and signing big names. I think it's by finding the diamonds in the rough, kind of like the Seahawks have done.
True. But I do think you have to worry about the speed, because you have Macklin, McCoy, and Mariota.
Right, but they had the speed this year too, and we were able to shut them down. So.
Alright, so as we all know, Marshawn Lynch added to his list of infamous press conferences this week when he gave his "I'm just here so I don't get fined" speech. But it's not entirely correct, because he was wearing a hat that wasn't licensed in the NFL. Do you think that's justifiable?
I don't think it is. I think it's just one of those stupid rules that the NFL has. They're trying to control their players. They're trying to make them into walking, talking endorsement deals, and I just don't think it's right.
I totally agree with that. I think they don't understand the business. This is an entertainment business. They're entertainers. They're going to do some pretty crazy things. Yeah. You can't expect this, faceless personality. Yeah, especially Marshawn. They got you somewhere half the time, and the other half either got you cussed out coming up strong. Aight. It's the word Deion Sanders used to describe the Seahawks wide receivers, including Doug Baldwin. The two did an interview this week to talk about it. Doug wasn't very happy. He thinks they're a lot more than aight. He said they're the most efficient wide receivers in the league. I don't know if that's true. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, actually, the Seahawks receivers were #1 in the league in passing efficiency this year. 2 seasons ago, Doug Baldwin was #1 in the league in drop percentage. So I think they are more than aight. I think they can go to any team in the league and be starting receivers. However, Golden Tate, I think he was the best receiver the Seahawks have had in the last few years. So I don't think that they're really at that Golden Tate level. You saw what he did when he went to Detroit. He kind of blew up. He made the Pro Bowl. I don't think they're that good, but I think they're definitely better than aight.
I think that's true. They're not as good as the Calvin Johnsons or the Antonio Browns of the league, but they do get the job done.
Exactly.
And you can't just look at the raw stats. You really have to watch these guys. I mean, they're 27th in passing, so you're not going to get any numbers out of that,
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though you need a golden calculator to divide.
All right, Dan, it's time to go into some Super Bowl 49 analysis. What are the weaknesses of the Patriots squad?
I don't really think the Patriots have a weakness. I think they got a good running game, good passing game. On defense, they got a great D-line, great linebackers, great secondary. I can't really see a weakness in this team. I would like to say, though, that the Seahawks have better strengths than the Patriots' strengths. I think their defense is better than the Patriots. I think their running game is better than the Patriots.
I'd have to agree. I mean, there's no outlying weaknesses. I'd say overall, though, like even if you look at the defense of the Patriots, they got a lot of talent, but they're 17th in pass defense, and they allow over 100 yards per game on the ground. So it's not very impressive. But they do have a really strong defensive line. They got young Chandler Jones, they got Ninkovich, they got Wilfork. They're all scary good at
Jamie Collins.
Line. Yep. And which is kind of scary when you look at the Hawks, because I'd say one of their weaknesses is O-line. And I think if we can play O-line really well, this one's in the bag, and we might even beat them like Denver.
Yeah.
What do you think in terms of predictions of the game?
I don't think it'll be like Denver.
No.
I don't know, I'd say 2017 maybe. It's going to be a close game. I think if there's only one team in the league that might be as good as the Seahawks, and that's the Patriots. You got to give them respect. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah, I think Tom Brady is one of the greatest quarterbacks ever. So one of my matchups for the game is going to be Earl Thomas against Tom Brady. I think it's the best safety in the league against the best quarterback ever. I know that's a different conversation when you're talking about the best quarterback ever, but I think E.T. is going to be looking out for the ball. He might jump some routes. I think he's going to get a pick in this game. What do you think for matchups?
I think you got to look at Brandon Browner versus whoever is playing on the other side from Brandon Browner. Seahawks know him very well. They know his weaknesses. When the Seahawks need a big play through the air, they're going to turn to that receiver that's on the other side from Browner.
I really think so, because we got really quick guys. We don't have any of those big receivers. So I think Browner's going to have a really tough time covering that. He said earlier in the week that Doug Baldwin is the quickest wide receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be a good thing to watch for.
Yeah, I think so too. He might hold him a couple of times. All right, so for my prediction of the game, I'm going to go with the Seahawks 30-17. I think we're going to put up a little more points.
Okay.
But that's all. Thanks for tuning in.